Hello, welcome back to Hey Miss Kelda. This is Kelda Ling Poynott, author and educator. This is episode 7, and we are going to ask the question I felt like a failure during quarantine schooling. Will that determine my success if I choose to homeschool? We need to begin by looking at the differences in what families were expected to do when schools closed in March. This was an unexpected, crisis time. It wasn't something that you just jumped into and you made the decision to do. It was thrust upon you. There was a lot of confusion. Teachers were scrambling, families were scrambling, everybody's trying to figure out what we're going to do next. This was not, um, it has nothing to do with what homeschooling is about. Homeschooling is a conscientious decision that we make to school our children at home. That does not mean that we are marching to anyone else's drumbeat. And what you all were expected to do during quarantine schooling was foreign. It was, stressful. The kids were stressed, the teachers were stressed, the parents were stressed. We were stressed not only because of the school, but because of the unknown fear. There was they just the ignorance. We didn't know how this was going to look, and that just breeds an environment where of course it was stressful, and of course you felt like you just couldn't get it all done. On top of that, you as an adult may have been expected to do your job completely at home while your children were doing school. You might have had limited resources with electronics. You might have had a limited quiet space in your home for everyone to work and feel focused. So, not only were we in a crisis situation, but we were also thrust into the unknown of having to march to someone else's drumbeat. They didn't give, you don't have teacher resources at home to help your children. So when you send them to school, you expect that the teachers and the administrators to provide all of that, and they have all of that on hand, and they take care of the education of your child. So when you bring them home to homeschool, you are the one who is making the conscientious decision to do this. Therefore, you are going to have the resources. You are going to figure out the best way to educate your child, and it may not be in front of a screen. It may not be electronic um, instruction. Yes, there might be some components of that if you choose, but there may not be. So, for you to be able to be a successful homeschooler, first of all, you make the decision to homeschool. Following that, you educate yourself, you find resources, you pick what curriculum you're going to use that fits your personality and your child's learning style. And from there, you will build confidence and become a successful homeschooler. It's very different from what you experienced. Real homeschooling is not school being thrust into your home in a moment where work was being thrust into your home or you were trying to, balance everything at one time. If you make the decision to homeschool, you are going to make sure that homeschooling fits into your family dynamic in whatever way it needs to. You are going to be able to schedule school each day for your family, and it's not going to be by someone else's mandate unless you schedule that. Like if you want to send them to tutor, to have a tutor teach them, or if you want to register them for a class online or something that does have a set agenda, of course you would work your routine around that. But if it's just you dictating when you're going to do school, that's for you to determine. You could do it each morning. You could do it in the afternoons. You could do it 4 days a week. You could do it 7 days a week. It doesn't matter how you schedule it, it's going to be on your timeline to get the curriculum completed, to get that coursework worked through. So there is a huge difference between quarantine schooling and homeschooling. So please don't feel like just because you felt like a failure that doesn't mean that you can't over time become an extremely confident homeschooling parent. So I hope that's been an encouragement to you. And if you feel like this is on your heart to do, then I would encourage you to read, find out more information, ask questions of homeschoolers. We're usually pretty eager to share our experiences and to encourage other people who are interested in homeschooling. So, if you would like to find out more information about homeschooling, I have a Homeschooling 101 workshop on my Patreon account. I also have a Homeschooling through High School workshop on there as well. It covers registration, it covers really understanding, um, what's expected of you to homeschool your child. You can also find me on Facebook, you can email me, or you can find my published works on Amazon.com.